The ball is gonna drop in 1 hour. It's 11 o'clock at night on New Year's Eve. I was wearing the same garb with the intentions of going to a Great Gatsby party. I never made it to the party. Me and my date walk into a bar. Can you imagine what the bar scene is like at 11 o'clock p.m. downtown Dallas? It is mayhem. Now, I want to get out in front of this and tell you, this is an advanced breakdown of what happened. Most people are not going to want to get as granular as I am. If you're just getting started, I'd suggest you click right up here to watch a video where I talk about what I did at a bar when somebody made fun of my hair. It's a little more basic and simple, but in this video, I'm going to get pretty advanced. If you consider yourself advanced, you're going to enjoy it. And if you consider yourself advanced and still want to see that video, I'll put a link at the end so you can go to it as well. So it's 11 o'clock on New Year's Eve, and you know bars are hopping at that point, right? They're full. But we walked in, and there were 3 chairs at this bar. And there was a person, one of them, and there were people to the left and people to the right, and 2 guys standing to the right. So there's basically 2 chairs, 3 chairs that may be open. The purse, who knows what was going on with that. So what I did is I suggested, as we walked up there to the girl that I'm with, I said, hey, why don't we find out whose chair these are? At worst case scenario, you can probably sit in this one right here, and I'll just stand. I'll be able to get a drink and kind of get the night going and see where it goes from there. And so as we walk up there, a gentleman who's pretty drunk with a strong accent is one of the 2 over to the right. And he says to me, it happened very fast. He says to me, oh, these chairs here, this one here, and this and this. And I couldn't tell if he was basically saying they were his or the people he's with. I had no idea what was going on. So I stayed just very calm. And I said, oh, no problem right here. We're going to get a drink at the bar. If this one's open, she's going to sit there. Okay. The most important thing I did there was I didn't jump into his frame and get all frazzled. Oh man, no, sorry, we didn't mean to bring it in here. Or, oh dude, we're just trying to sit down right here. Those aren't your chairs. Where is everybody? None of that. Calm, strong, calm tonality. Oh man, no problem. We're just gonna get a drink here. If this chair's open, she's gonna sit there. You hear my tone of voice. It's convincing. When people are drunk, the tone of voice that you use when you speak with a strong, calm, slow tonality, they totally get sucked into your frame. I mean, somebody can be so drunk in all fairness and just not even hear anything you say. But in this case, he was with it enough that it calmed him down a little bit. And this isn't a tonality video. You can touch or click up here to grab a free tonality checklist where I'll take you through things in more depth there. But my tone of voice was very nice and calm. And he slowed down a little bit, but he was basically still saying stuff about the chairs. I didn't understand what was going on. I couldn't tell if he was with the other guy. It was just too chaotic with the accent as well that I didn't know. So what I said is, you, to the girl I'm with, you sit down in this chair. And if anyone says anything, we can deal with it then. I'm gonna handle this guy. So then I just slowly walked straight chest to this guy, knowing he'd naturally back off a little bit to give me a little bit of room so I could clear distance from him and her. Because what was my concern at that point? One thing, for her to be comfortable. I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable. You as a man, I feel like she should take responsibility for the date that you're with or the other people that you're with and lead and show them they can be comfortable around you, then count on you for that. It's a very strong skill to have. So I cleared a little, this not confrontation, not like back up buddy, just literally like half a step to start. So she's back here in the chair right here and he's right here. Now I got a little distance, right? How you doing buddy? How's your night going? What's going on? I didn't completely understand what's going on with the chairs. How are you? Right? And then the thing changes, right? He gets more calm. He's talking slower. I can understand him. The other guy got out of there. I don't think he even knew the other guys. Maybe some guy he bombarded at the bar as well. But we're talking to him and basically he's still talking really fast and I'm not able to get too much sense. I'm looking what's going on with the girl and there's an older lady right next to her. They're talking and it looks like it's going well. They seem like they're conversing fine. She doesn't seem tense at all. So I start talking to this guy, but it's right on the verge. He's very over the top. He's telling me, he's like, you sit right here. You sit right here. She sit right here. Right. And it's like, nobody's going to tell me what to do, but I'm not going to be the tough guy. Don't tell me what to do. I'll say it wasn't there yet. So I'm trying to walk the fine line. If you remember the video where I talk about the short guy trying to make fun of me and saying stuff, I didn't pound him and say, get out of here, short stuff. I was like, hey, cool, man, just ignore it. If you ever can, and this was one of those instances, by the way, you can click on that video right here to watch if you want the short guy making fun of me. But I wanted to be as cool as possible. It was New Year's Eve. I don't want to start the night out being rude to somebody, you know? So I'm walking this line, keeping an eye on her the whole time, because if the person she was talking to, she was uncomfortable there, well, now I have to do something. I'd be like, listen, dude, I'm sorry. I can't be listening to what you're saying right now. Maybe I'll talk to you in a little bit. Turn, address that, buffer this conversation right here. I'm constantly pinging in an okay way. I'm not pinging like around the environment. I'm just pinging, checking to be sure that she's okay, because that's my number one thing. So I'm buying myself more time to see if this guy is somebody who needs to be checked and put in his place, or if his intentions are good and he's right on that line. So I was like, I just got here. I feel like standing, man. But anyway, what's going on? He's like, I think I've seen you before. Like, I don't know, maybe you come around here? And I was like, no, I've only been here twice in my life. He's like, oh, interesting. And then, because I was holding that calm tone, that calm demeanor, I'm not buying in the frazzle thing, he starts coming down. Just like we know when you hold your frame, people will slowly get sucked into that frame. So he's calming down. I was like, oh, actually, he's like, I just moved here about 6 months ago. I'm a dentist, this and this. And now he's making more sense. I can tell. And in all honesty, he's trying to converse now, because even though he was pretty tipsy, he was with it enough to know what he was doing. He was trying to be scattered around. He was trying to get me kind of worked up and scattered and do what he says. Because what I later found out, what he said actually right after that, was his mother had flown into town, who was the gal that the girl I was with was talking with, and his two brothers were down there. So does it make sense now? He wants to look like the big dog to his family. They never come in town. One of them from Scottsdale. So he wanted to show that he could orchestrate this whole bar. You know, you guys sit here, you do this, hey, this and this and this. But it was too much for me just to fall into that frame. If you'd have been a little more chill, like, hey, these 2 seats are open, you guys are welcome to sit there, I would. But like, you sit here, and I think he like was touching my shoulder, like not aggressively. It was just too much for me to fall in a compliant, supplicative role. But I'm glad I didn't bulldoze him. Like, buddy, who do you think you are? I just got here. Leave me alone. Go talk to somebody in the back. Then it handles it, right? There's no risk in that, except for maybe looking like a little bit of a jerk to the girl that I'm with. But now his family sees that, and he's trying to look good in front of his family. That's not cool, man. You want to build people up when you can. So what I did by buying that time, by keeping an eye on the girl that I was with, be sure the conversation was fine with her, she was okay, not checking him, you know, the old Charlie Murphy thing, I had to check him. I didn't have to check him. I bought time to see what his intentions were. Now, most people just being able to deal with that situation, like if they felt confident going up to him and be like, no, buddy, we just got here, it's just us, you know, we just want to have a little conversation on our own. They'd be happy with that. And that is important that you know how to do that. And you're comfortable, you can go in there, because that's the only way you can walk into a situation like that. Because let me tell you, most people who don't even know that they can handle that situation, even that very basic, just browbeating way, how is that going to impact them? Okay, let me tell you, this is very important. They're going to walk in with a girl. She's going to see those open spots at the bar. And you're going to be hesitant. You're going to be like, maybe we should go around here. Maybe we shouldn't go up there. If you go up there, you're going to be timid. The minute he says something to you, you're going, oh, are those your seats? Sorry, man. Hey, sorry. How do you look to her? You don't look like a man who can handle your business. Come on, you got to figure this stuff out. So the very baseline thing to learn is just how to handle it through brute force. So when I say brute force, I don't mean any physical escalation. I just mean by saying, what's the most simple thing you could say when he comes up? Hey, here, these chairs here. What about this? Hey man, not worried about the chairs. Just here, we're just getting a drink. Okay, all good. Happy New Year. You can handle it that way, but now you both leave. What does it do to the energy of both of you? Down, right? How do you think if this ended by me walking this line of finesse and bouncing over here and bouncing her and saying, walking the line, oh, he's cool now, he's fine and good, he's ready, his intentions are good. I ended up talking to the dude for 5 minutes. It was fine. He was friendly. Like I said, he just moved here. He was a dentist. He had good intentions. He was excited his family's here, and he wanted to look cool in front of him. So when they finally left, about 10 minutes later, they were all going home. He was hammered. I think the rest of the family was pretty sober. But I felt good because he felt good with his family. It was a good interaction. I was talking to her. I was like kind of wild. I was keeping my eye on you. You looked like you were cool with that lady. And she's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Kind of fine. And another thing I want to point out is the gal that I was with, she's a social gal, right? If I was with some very timid gal, like I would know that 90% of the time putting her at the bar with somebody she doesn't know in a chaotic environment, well, I'm bouncing around with this guy, flyweight. she's not going to feel good about that. But I knew going in, so I kept that in the calibration in my head, assessing the probability of her being okay there, which bought me more time, you know? And if I would have thought maybe she was only half as social as she was, maybe half as comfortable and social as the way she was, I'd have walked that line a little bit tighter. And maybe I wouldn't have even had enough time to deal with the guy the way I did. Maybe just come to the fact, listen, guy, love to talk to you a little bit. I got to get back here. We're going to get drinks here. She's going to sit in this chair. We'll talk to you in a bit, right? Just tell him what's going on. Because do you really think at that point, when you talk like that and you have confidence like that, and you're like, she's going to sit in this chair. We're going to grab a couple drinks. Maybe we'll talk to you in a bit. Do you think he's really going to say, no, you're not sitting in that chair? No, he's not going to say that. There's no chance he's going to say that when you deliver it correctly. Now, what if I said, hey man, I can't talk to you now. I'm a little bit worried about her, but if it's okay, she's gonna sit in that chair as we get a drink. Any drunk wants any time that he can flex, right? Especially in front of his family. You know what he's gonna say 90% of the time? As opposed to 90% of the time him being like, yeah, cool, whatever, it's all good. He's gonna be like, no, that chair's reserved. She can't sit there. You make yourself a weak target. Being socially strong and confident is such a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is why to people who don't feel confident in these environments, it's reinforced and they keep getting beaten because they're the easy target. Because everyone's trying to, and I know a lot of people will listen to this video, people haven't been in bars or restaurants or high social stress scenes or high value scenes in a long time. And they're like, you're overthinking it, bro. Or why would you even go to an environment like that? Why do you need to do that? Well, there's a lot of reasons to do that. But people are always looking to improve their status and lower other people's status. That's simply how you do it. Just like in third grade when people are making fun of somebody, hey, look at the fat boy. They're doing that because it makes them look better, right? They're putting the other person in their place, exerting higher status. In a bar environment, a lot of times when there's single guys and girls, this stuff goes up massively. So everyone's always looking for an easy target where they can boost and build themselves off that. It's kind of a hard truth. So when you go up, even if you just say the difference between saying, hey, can she sit in that seat? Well, if you say it like that, hey, can she sit in that seat while we get a drink? He's gonna do it, but the tonality indicates it versus, is it okay if she sits in that seat? Do you think that's okay if you use that supplicative tone? You understand what a supplicative tonality is? Supplicative, neutral, and rapport breaking. Rapport breaking is like a cop. Hey, do you mind if she sits in that seat? Neutral. Hey, do you mind if she sits in that seat? Supplicative. Hey, do you mind if she sits in that seat? If you don't understand this, get that tonality checklist. It's free. Just get it right now. You need it. But those are the things you need to understand. So I didn't make myself an easy target. If I needed to do that, I absolutely could have by telling him to do that. But it's always sad to me when I see guys out and they're trying, you can clearly, they're trying to look good to their date. They don't realize they have a kick me sign on their forehead and on their butt by the way that they're talking. It's just so hard for people who are trying to look good to not stair step off that guy's back that they know is such an easy target. Because what's the chance? What do you think is the chance? If I say, hey, do you mind if she sits in that chair just while we get a drink, we'll just be out of here real quick? Just hearing me say that, what's the chance somebody's not gonna use that in a bar? In a normal environment during the day at a coffee shop, people are like, oh, absolutely, man, sure, that's fine. But in a bar, no. They're gonna be like, no, man, get out of here. No, you can't sit in that chair. That's what they're gonna do. But if you say, hey, she's gonna sit in that chair and we're gonna get a drink and then in a minute, maybe we'll talk to you. 95% of the time, it's gonna go over well. You need to understand that. Now, this story is a real life example of something that happened to me a few days ago. If you're not following me on Instagram, you're missing out on a ton of content like this. I'm putting a lot more time into this, a lot of videos only on Instagram that won't be here on YouTube. So go to Charisma Matrix and be sure to follow me. You're gonna get a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's cool. It's gonna help you out a lot. Now, have you seen this video right here where these dudes try to make fun of my hair in front of my date? It's a pretty good one. It's pretty funny. 3 drunk guys, they just got hammered. And I was with this very cute girl and I left to go to the bathroom and I came back and the tides had turned a little bit. So if you want to see that one, you can click right here. If you haven't seen this video, suggest you click right there to watch it. I'll talk to you in one of those videos now.